I'm going to do a terrible impression to start the show.
Come on and sit a spell. We've got stories and jokes to tell. It's gonna be a great Noel. It's the Advent Calendar House. Muppets, Batman, Smurfs, and even Garfield's Halloween. We're gonna take a trip down memory lane. Frosty, Rudolph, and a bunch you've probably never seen. It's Mike and pals that come to entertain. Turn the knob and lift the latch for fun and laughs that can't be matched. And just beware the icy patch. It's the Advent Calendar House.
Coming up at the top of the hour on the Advent Calendar House, it's the Easter Bunny. Sorry, that was my really bad Casey Kasem.
That wasn't too bad. That was not too bad.
Wasn't it? Okay, it sounded bad on my end, but
Better than mine.
Welcome y'all to our Easter in July special. Today we're hopping back and forward to the enchanted world of Rankin Bass for an apparently year-long trip through the space-time continuum. So set your destination to 1971 and watch out for that re-entry, because here comes Peter Cottontail.
Hopping down the bunny trail, hippity hopping, Easter's on its way. Bringing every girl and boy baskets full of Easter joy, things to make your Easter bright and gay.
I am traveling paint peddler who's absolutely cool with letting you take a nap on my big toe, Mike Westfall. And joining me is a time-traveling worm with a French accent and a pilot's license despite not having arms. It's Michael May. Hello, Michael.
Ooh la la!
Here he is.
That's all the French accent you're going to get out of me this episode.
Perfect. Okay. And supposedly Vampire Bunny, who may or may not be thirsty for blood, but he's certainly thirsty for cold, sweet revenge on the children of the world. It's Sammy Hain. Hi, Sammy.
Hello. Do not worry about the icy patch. I have brought the, how you say, Easter galoshes for all.
Beautiful. Thank you both for being here. So this was the first of 3 Easter specials by Rankin Bass. It's actually from back when they were still called Videocraft. But it was the last of the 3 I watched. Somehow I missed this one as a kid. I did not grow up with Here Comes Peter Cottontail. But I want to hear your histories with this special first. And let us start with Sammy.
Oh, you know I'm going to rant.
Of course.
Might as well get me. Yeah. Like, this is it. This is my Easter special. Like, when I talk to normies about, oh, yeah, I'll be watching Easter specials this weekend, and they go, there's Easter specials?
Yeah, man.
This is what I go to. Like, Easter Bunny's coming to town. Don't hate it. It's good. It doesn't have Vincent Price. And it's not what I've talked about on episodes before, the tendency to give a nice little pastel coat of paint to a Christmas story and just say, here, consider yourself lucky. It's weird, but it's original. It's its own.
It is. Michael, how about you?
I am in the same boat as you, Mike Westfall. In fact,
Okay.
This was the first time that I've ever watched this thing. I had
Wow, okay.
gone my entire life. And I don't know, like, I have a theory, and I don't know what your kind of family background was similar to mine, but we had church on Sunday nights and Wednesday nights. And if specials kind of traditionally would hit on one of those nights, they're just like vast landscapes of things that I just never got to see as a kid because we were always at church. And I did notice like this premiered on a Sunday night. So I don't know if it typically ran on Sunday nights, that would explain why I never got around to it. But
Okay. This premiered on a Palm Sunday. So if you're going to church at night, then yeah, that would explain it, because Palm Sunday is one that you're not going to want to miss.
Yeah, I wouldn't been old enough to be around, so I think I was in the age of, ABC Family or something showing it at random times.
This would have been rerun by the time I got around as well. But for some reason, it's just, I know the Disney Channel would air The First Easter Rabbit and The Easter Bunny is Coming to Town. I don't remember seeing this on the schedule ever. So I don't know. But I don't think I watched it for the first time until a few years ago, actually. My parents just didn't tape this one.
Yeah, and I didn't have it taped either. I have these vague memories of this creepy bunny that I would tell people about, and people would be like, "Sam, is everything ever okay at home?"
You talking about Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
Journey, yeah. And I rediscovered it in 2008 at KB Toys when they had the two set of Peter Cotton, Here Comes Peter Cottontail, and Peter Cottontail the movie, the CGI sequel.
They made a sequel to this. I was gonna save that for the end, but yeah, that's okay.
Well, that's
we will get to it, but Here Comes Peter Cottontail was Rankin Bass's first Easter special. It aired on ABC on April 4th, 1971. Like I said, Palm Sunday. And it continues the Rankin Bass tradition of taking a holiday song and creating a story around it. But this is also based on a book from 1957 called The Easter Bunny That Overslept. Which Sammy has. Sammy's put it on. Wow.
Audio podcast.
No, it's great. I'm gonna link to it in the show notes, but this is written by Priscilla and Otto Friedrich. There's a couple of different illustrated versions of that published over the years. Sammy's looks like it's a newer edition.
Yeah, I think it's not the same as the ones I saw when I was looking up online, but
okay.
Yeah.
But this is only based on that to a point, and then our old friend Romeo Muller had to Romeo Muller it up with his own touches.
Yeah, he did.
And God bless whatever he was on at that time, because I know I wouldn't have read a book about a bunny oversleeping and going, so Willy Wonka has a time machine, all right? Now.
Well, on that note, let's hop into this. And if you want to watch it first, at the time of this recording, it is free to watch on Tubi and Amazon Prime Video. There's also a very good upscaled copy on YouTube on a channel called the Rankin Bass Archive. I don't think it's an official channel, but it's up there. And that copy had cuts that Tubi's copy didn't, and vice versa. So I found myself going back and forth between these two, kind of Frankenstein watching these together. But visually, the one on YouTube was actually better looking. It might be the best copy of any Rankin Bass special I've ever seen. I was really impressed.
I watched the one on Prime, and it was quite a good cut. I didn't compare it with anything else, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, but this channel has a lot of older non-holiday Rankin Bass stuff, too, if you want to go check it out. They got some episodes of The New Adventures of Pinocchio and the Emperor's New Clothes, which was supposed to be a pilot for a whole series that never got picked up that would have been called The Enchanted World of Danny Kaye.
Yeah, this was his tryout.
Yeah, speaking of Enchanted Worlds of Danny Kaye, here he comes. Careening down the bunny trail on a unicycle on his way to April Valley. He introduces himself as Seymour S. Sassafras.
Rolls off the tongue.
Oh, it sure does. He says he's a peddler by trade who makes his magical kiosk of wares and artifacts appear out of nowhere. And hey, wait a minute. This is the same opening as Aladdin. Disney's Aladdin opens with Robin Williams as a little merchant who does the same thing.
And it goes back to Santa Claus is coming to town with the mailman. You're like, you need your...
Oh, yeah. This is.
Oh, hi. How's it going? Come on in.
You've never heard of Peter Cottontail?
Never heard of Peter Cottontail?
He was so shocked.
Great chattering chicks. They've never heard of Peter Cottontail. They've never heard of Peter Cottontail?
Yes, I have. That's why I'm watching this. But Seymour tells us all about April Valley, where all the Easter bunnies make all our Easter candy. We see them dyeing eggs and sculpting bunnies out of chocolate.
One thing about Rankin Bass could not commit to a continuity on Easter.
No, well,
this one's April Valley. Easter Bunny's coming to town. He lives on Big Rock Candy Mountain, which
that's right.
I actually kind of respect that one. That was pretty inventive. And first Easter Bunny, it's Easter Valley.
Easter Valley, home of the Easter Lily. I don't think anybody cared about continuity at that point.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing anybody worried about. They're setting up a little pocket universe.
I mean, Christmas got a whole Avengers
Yeah, well.
I know it's Christmas.
It took a while there, even though, too, because
Mhm.
Rudolph does not fit into that continuity.
No, not at all. Nope. What I like about this is the notion that there's more than one Easter bunny. There's a whole colony of them, and I kind of like that concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's the idea he's just there alone with a bunch of chicks. It's both sad and creepy. So I'd like to have a good little kingdom community for him.
It takes a village.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, there is a chief Easter bunny who does the actual delivery, and that's Peter Cottontail. But since we've never heard of him, Seymour just has to tell us the story about how Peter almost didn't get the job. Well, it's less telling and more telling us to peek inside one of those little Easter eggs with the peephole that you look in and you see a diorama.
Mm-hmm.
They're called peekaboo eggs. Have either of you seen one of these in real life? Because I've only seen these on TV.
Yeah, I think this is an old thing. I remember seeing them as a kid.
Okay.
Yeah, as a kid, it was probably like cheap ones where it's little like put up like paper pieces. But I do
Well, sure.
because we have that in this Easter Beagle uses that as a storytelling. There's a family circus Easter where that's a big thing with the peekaboo. So yeah, no, I accept. We saw those.
Yeah, but that's all I got. I haven't seen any of these in real life, but that's how Seymour is going to tell us about how the title of Chief Easter Bunny almost went to a terrible evil rabbit named January Q Irontail. The best part of this special.
Terrible is overstating things, I think. That's a little propaganda.
I feel like he would relish that title, though.
Okay. And he'll relish it at an 11, too.
Oh, sure, because, as mentioned, Irontail is voiced by Vincent Price.
Which I did not know watching this for the first time.
Wow.
I've seen pictures of Irontail my whole life. I've seen a lot of stills from this thing. I had never made the connection that he was voiced by Vincent Price.
Montresor! Montresor! Away!
I feel I've personally failed as the Easter guy online, that there are people who don't know it's Vincent Price. My life is a lie.
I haven't talked about Vincent Price before on this podcast yet, so I guess I will ask if you remember your personal introduction to Vincent Price.
Wow. I feel like he was like growing up in the 70s. He was on like talk shows all the time. He was always guest starring on sitcoms. Like I forget if he was like actually like on the Lucy Show, but it seems like that was the kind of thing where he would have shown up. Certainly the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
That would be an early one. So he was always around, even though like I wouldn't have been able to watch a lot of his movies when I was a kid.
Mystery on PBS. The Edward Gorey animated entrance and then Vincent. I could have started my absolute love of horror hosts even before Elvira or anything. Like you would watch this really creepy intro, but it was okay because then Vince was talking to you, you know? And then as far as I'm not the first one to make this, Vinny has this thing with Easter. Like I would put him on my Easter Mount Rushmore. So he's the Easter bunny here officially for a whole year. He's Egghead in Batman.
Oh
the
yeah,
entire Easter egg themed villain.
Oh yeah.
I got a couple action figures hanging around here of them.
I love that they made Egghead action figures, but I guess you have to.
In these days, you get obscure back in the day. And then 10 Commandments, which I don't know for you, but for me, it was always played on TV. And my family had to watch 10 Commandments around Easter. And he's Baka, the great builder, just once again hamming it up. So it's like Easter came around and you had Vincent Price there. That was
that's a good point. My introduction to Vincent Price was probably Thriller, but first time I put a name to his voice was either The Muppet Show or the Disney Channel used to have these interstitials called Read, Write, and Draw, where Vincent Price would read part of a short story and invite kids to write an ending for it and draw a picture of your ending and send it in. And he would read these kids' stories and show their drawings. He's wearing like a Mr. Rogers cardigan sweater, and it was just a whole different side of him.
That's super cool.
It was so cool. It wasn't until years later when I realized, wait, this old guy reading kid stories is the scary guy laughing at the end of Thriller? Get out of here.
My heart just grew 3 sizes listening to that. It's
I hope someone put some of those up on YouTube. I got to go look now. But we'll talk more about Irontail later. For now, the reason the job of Chief Easter Bunny is open is because the current chief, Wellington B. Bunny, is retiring, and he needs to choose a successor. And I'm honestly kind of surprised it's not a hereditary succession of power because rabbits.
But how could you keep track?
I'm multiplying, Doc. Danny Kaye also voices Wellington B. Bunny, and he gives him this old retired English adventurer sort of accent.
Peter Cottontail. Just a moment. Now, here's a likely candidate.
And he's considering Peter Cottontail as a worthy successor, but he's got a little assistant who tells him, I don't really think Cottontail's your man, sir, in a deep, twerpy little voice, provided by our old pal, Paul Frees.
I mean, he is boastful, he has no sense of responsibility, and sometimes he fibs.
Oh, well, I know he's not perfect, but he's got real spunk and ingenuity. Reminds me of me when I was his age.
Paul Frees, like, introduced in, like, a character without a name, you know? Like, Danny and Vincent really, like, took over this special, and he's kind of like Bunny assistant number 1.
Yeah, well, he'll be back.
Some others,
he voices multiple characters in this, so we'll run into him again. But the last time we ran into Paul Frees on this show was, of course, the last Rankin Bass special I did, which was Jack Frost as Kubla Kraus.
I don't know if this is going to come up later, but if it is, ignore this question. But so this Bunny assistant, is he in league with Irontail?
He's a kind of double agent. Yeah, it will come up because he's Irontail asks him some questions too. I think he's like a free agent.
I don't know. It seemed to me like Irontail either just in a bit he shows up to either just monologue to this guy, so to lay out his evil scheme, or if this was some sort of like civil servant bureau of I want to register a complaint. I should be the Easter Bunny. Really
I'm just declaring, leave me alone.
But it looks to me like he was looking for the Chief Easter Bunny, and there was just a clerk there that he monologued at.
Yeah, take a number. But Wellington sees something in Peter that reminds him of himself as a young bunny, so he goes to visit Peter, who is voiced by Casey Kasem.
I never dreamed I'd get to be Chief Easter Bunny.
Peter, you're telling a fib. Every time you tell a fib, your left ear droops.
Oh, well, I guess I did think about the job once or twice. Lots of times.
This is the first time he's come up on the podcast, but I'm sure we've heard him on here before in some commercial bumper I've used in the past. Just like, Alvin and the Chipmunks will be right back or something. But for Peter Cottontail here, he's basically doing his Robin voice.
To me, it's Shaggy. Like I almost find it jarring. I'm expecting Shaggy to like pull off of Irontail's mask at some point.
It's kind of in between those two, but
yeah, it's definitely Casey Kasem. But I like when I quit paying attention to it being Casey Kasem, he started to sound like Mickey Rooney to me from some of the Santa Claus stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Especially like Santa Claus is coming to town, like that character. I don't know. They maybe shared some writing DNA or something.
Perhaps, yeah, that's very true. But to put the time frame into perspective, Casey Kasem started voicing Robin in 1968, and that's only 3 years before this. And it's only 2 years before he started voicing Shaggy, so...
Working out his...
Those are both new characters for him to be voicing, and throw this in the mix, and yeah, it's going to be in between those two. But right away, the assistant says... Peter sometimes fibs, and when he lies to Wellington that he's never dreamed of being Chief Easter Bunny, one of his ears droops down with a little trombone noise, a little...
It's a cute effect.
It is a cute effect, and it's going to show up a few more times, but it doesn't really go anywhere. It's just a thing that they remember happened every once in a while.
It's one of his character flaws that the whole world has to pay for him to learn to get over, you know?
I guess so, yeah. Yeah. Did not expect the Easter special to be a lesson on honesty, but here we are.
That's how you get your President's Day gag paid off.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And then Wellington goes into a song about all the responsibilities of the Chief Easter Bunny. As he explains, in spring, the Easter Bunny never sleeps.
There are tulips that need tending and baskets that need mending. The jelly beans are piling up in heaps. There are eggs that need collecting and hens who are expecting. In spring, the Easter Bunny never sleeps.
And if that's supposed to entice me into wanting the job, it does not.
Nope.
I need
I'm
a
out.
nap of just listening to it.
Sorry, I guess I'm not Bunny CEO material, but I need my beauty rest.
So you want to know my favorite line from that song?
What's that?
Some chocolate chicks have broken out in peeps. So I think this is canon that peeps are actually some kind of malignant growth.
Oh, no.
It comes off in real candy. Chop it up and put it in a package. Someone will eat it.
That means
Put some sugar on it. Yum.
Oh, this is the tastiest eczema I've ever had. Easter eczema. Oh, no. This song reminded me of the song in Santa Claus is Coming to Town about the first toy maker to the king. It's very akin to that.
Mm-hmm.
They really got their money's worth with Danny. He has to do songs as like 3 different characters. So it's
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, after that song, we check in on Irontail, who apparently has the same assistant as Wellington B. Bunny, or...
something.
Yeah. But here we're told the backstory of how Irontail became Irontail many years ago. Some human child on roller skates ran over his tail, so now he has to wear a prosthetic one made of iron, which I don't understand why he couldn't just use a bit of actual cotton for a prosthetic tail.
They're making stuffed animals. They have cotton around, you know?
Yeah, the iron seems very uncomfortable and unnecessary.
No, could have saved him a lot of trouble, but... Then, if you've ever tried to glue cotton onto anything, you know it doesn't stay put for long, so fine.
True.
I like the little bell effect whenever he moves.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Since then, I have had to wear this artificial one made of iron instead of having a nice, fluffy white cottontail like that Peter.
And the assistant tells him, oh, he didn't mean to do it. And then he lets out an I don't care, where I'm pretty sure the sound guy had to like throw his headset off.
It's
That
loud.
started in his diaphragm and just... This is the guy who could scare me with a Tilex commercial, you know? So...
But it's a very Captain Hook origin story. Just one child ran me over and made me wear this iron tail, so now every child has to pay. I'm going to ruin Easter for all children everywhere.
Meister Burger.
Yep.
I tripped on a toy once. Everyone pays for it.
Yeah. And then he flies off on a bat. Irontail has a giant pet bat. That's my favorite thing about him.
But the name... I swear, if I get another animal at some point in my life, his name is going to be Montrezor!
Montrezor!
Bring me my slippers! Montrezor! Stop sniffing that dog's butt! It just, everything sounds better.
Montrezor, of course, is named after the character from Edgar Allan Poe's Cask of Amontillado, the one who entombs a guy alive in his wine vault.
Kids are learning a lot about literature today.
Yeah. And he flies over to Peter's, where Wellington's about to hand off the official egg basket of the Chief Easter Bunny, but Irontail interrupts him just a mean old minute. He's got the Constitution of April Valley with him. Do they just leave that lying around for anyone to grab and use in legal disputes?
I assumed he went to the library and checked that out. before he
Okay,
went
yeah.
over there.
He got Nicolas Cage.
He got Nicolas Cage. Went to the April Valley Constitution Center in Philly. That's the Delaware Valley. Get it right. According to Irontail, the Constitution states the Chief Easter Bunny shall be the one who delivers the most eggs. That's the statement. Remember
Yeah.
how that's worded. We're going to come back to that later.
Yeah, there's an important loophole that I did not understand when I watched this. For the first time.
Oh no,
Yeah.
we're gonna come back to that.
Yeah.
We sure are.
I had my lawyer go over this.
Should have asked a lawyer. Challenges Peter to a contest, and the Colonel says, out of the question. But Peter's like, why not? I'm not afraid of Irontail. Let's do this. So the Colonel makes it official and announces the contest will be held the next day, which happens to be Easter. So you mean to tell me that this guy waited until a day or so before Easter to pass on his job to someone else?
You ever have a boss like that? Oh, that big project's
No.
due tomorrow. I'm taking off.
No, I haven't. This guy waited till like Good Friday to decide, I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, my feet hurt.
He was probably going to do it and just burned out at the last minute. It's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Somebody else can do this.
Tweaked his leg or something.
Yeah.
So the Colonel tells Peter, you better make sure you get up bright and early so you can win. And Peter goes ahead and throws himself a party.
I was impressed by that party. That was it's a cool effect, first of all, but
Yeah, he's got a tent.
yeah.
And the little light string.
Yeah, and shadow figures, and but just the fact that Peter threw a big party and like stayed up all night, I thought that was kind of a baller move.
Freaking college freshman.
Yeah, no, it is a very impressive looking scene with just the shadows, but they're kind of three-dimensional. They position some of the figures farther away from the others, and it looks really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Followed by Peter finally going to bed a little after midnight and winding his alarm clock. You ever have an old-fashioned alarm clock like this that you just had to wind?
Not one that was connected to a chicken.
No, not connected to a chicken, but
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Like the exact sort of alarm clock you picture in your head when you think of a classic alarm clock with the bells on top. I think it was my grandfather's, and I wonder if it's still in my parents' house.
I'm sure that, like, when you set an alarm on your phone, it shows a picture of that little thing. I'm
Yeah.
sure kids have no idea what that picture
What is that? It's
Like,
like
why does that come up for my alarm?
a Mickey Mouse on mine.
No, that's like when you show them a floppy disk, they're like, oh, it's the save icon.
Yeah.
Peter's clock is similar, except there's a chicken attached to the top of it. It's a rooster. His name is Ben. It's like the alarm clock from the Flintstones.
Very
It's living.
It's 11. So he falls asleep, and as soon as he does, Irontail creeps into his window because they're rabbits. They just have little burrows with holes cut in the walls.
I think that's Paul Frees again as the chicken, right?
Yes. Yep.
No funny business now.
Oh, no, of course not.
And instead of messing with the time Peter's supposed to wake up, he gives Ben, the alarm clock bird, a piece of corn-flavored bubble gum that seals his beak shut so he couldn't wake up Peter if he wanted to. And Peter sleeps through the entire day.
The big party.
Hey, it was a big party.
I mean, he was put to bed at midnight, right? So that's not, I don't know. That's not like super late.
No. Maybe it is for rabbits. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen rabbits up pretty late. There are rabbits living somewhere near my house, and they're out there pretty late.
I like the corn flavored bubblegum though. Like, that's something I would chew on camera to get some likes on social
Yeah,
media.
right. Well,
I would try that.
Yeah. It's a chicken.
You should make that at Easter time. Just brand it with
Yeah.
Irontail's corn flavored chewing gum.
There you go. Right? And it can be buttered popcorn flavored. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, Irontail goes out and tries to deliver eggs, but we're told nobody wanted any from him. It's an interesting way of portraying the Easter Bunny, of just going around, hey, you want an egg?
Never happened to me.
Yeah, nobody hides any eggs in this thing.
No, they're giving them out in the middle of the night. So, of course, nobody wants them. Nobody's awake.
He's walking up to kids. I'm sorry, if a 6 foot tall talking bunny offers me an egg, I'm going to keep it just for proof. Like,
For real.
that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
But nope.
That's probably the one egg he gives away goes to no, he gave it away to some guy sleeping under a tree. He just put it on his lap, and that counts apparently.
Yeah.
Just places it on his hands, and that's enough for Irontail to win the contest and become the chief Easter Bunny. And we cut to his first address to April Valley on a rainy morning. And I like how Rankin Bass made the stop motion rain.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they set up a row of string or wire, or it even looks like it might be tinsel and just moves it in just the right way to look like it's rain falling in sheets above a sea of black umbrellas.
And you get my personal favorite song in the whole.
Oh, yeah. It's his diabolical reprise, as Wikipedia put it.
Oh.
They called it his diabolical reprise. The Easter Bunny always sleeps. He's going to use Easter to take a nap.
See, I'm already liking this one version better.
Every tulip that needs tending will get a proper bending, and jelly beans will rat upon their heaps. All the hens who are expecting will get no more protecting, for in spring the Easter Bunny always sleeps.
He orders all Easter eggs to be painted brown and gray, colors of mud and concrete.
That's how my eggs turned out when I put them in all the different cups anyways.
Well, it reminded me of, you ever see the episode of The Office where Jim and Dwight take over the party planning committee and it's Kelly's birthday and Dwight, well, they forgot. So the next day they try and throw a party and Dwight only half blows up these earth tone balloons and prints out a banner that says, "It is your birthday." That's what these brown and gray eggs remind me of.
Well, you know what he didn't have?
What?
Chocolate octopuses and tarantulas.
No, that's what he wants. That's what he wants next. And that sounds amazing. Why aren't we getting chocolate octopuses on Halloween at the very least?
Like, get some terrible chocolate, shape them like tarantulas and octopuses, put it in FYE for $25 for some reason, and the spooky kids are going to go buy it for Easter.
You're sitting on a gold mine, chocolatiers of the world.
Yeah, you are.
They had a whole bunch of stuff for a Heat Miser and Snow Miser when they had their bad sequel. Like,
did they?
Yeah. Give us Vincent Price Easter stuff, gold mine.
For real.
Yes.
But I say this because this became a tradition in my house. I shopped for octopus and spider molds, and me and my youngest stepchild, we would absolutely melt down chocolate and put them in the molds and gather around to chocolate tarantulas and octopuses every year, and it was a delight to all.
Well, Patton Oswalt did make that joke about mixing all the color dye packets and like, oh, we made a brown egg, can't get those. Unfortunately, we don't see Peter Cottontail finally wake up and realize he overslept and missed Easter. That's how the book, The Easter Bunny That Overslept, starts. In the original story, there's no Iron Tail. It just rains all through April and the Easter Bunny wakes up in May. But here we just see Peter walking through the rain out of April Valley with an empty Easter basket, just quietly leaving town after realizing he missed Easter, vowing to make it up to everyone somehow if it's the last thing he does. Seymour Sassafras tells us he walks for days and days until finally Peter collapses and falls asleep and is woken up the next morning by Seymour, who informs him, "You're sleeping on my big toe." Okay, but you were not there when he went to sleep.
You stuck that toe underneath his head during the night.
Did you sit down on that stump and just kind of shimmy your foot under a sleeping rabbit?
Watch out, kids, or Danny K will slip his toe under your head while you sleep.
Hey, you're sleeping under my toe. Well, don't put your toe there. It turns out we're in Seymour's garden, the Garden of Surprises, where he grows vegetables he uses to make all the colored dye he sells. He sells colors. He's got giant cabbages in red, white, and blue. He's got purple corn.
I really like the 2D, simple 2D effect of the garden, which looks exactly like the cover of perennial graduation favorite, Oh, the Places You'll Go.
You know it does. Wow, good call.
All the lines of...
But you remember when they made purple and green ketchup in the 90s? I think we found where that came from.
All sassafras.
And Peter tells him his predicament. Easter's over and he lost April Valley, but Seymour tells him nothing's really over. And he walks over to what looks like a baby carriage connected to a weather balloon, but he calls it the Yestermorrowmobile. Surprise, this is a time travel adventure.
Didn't expect that, did you?
Nope.
It's very chitty chitty bang bang, or
Yeah,
all
it
the
is.
design.
Yeah, it
It's a very
is.
steampunky looking contraption for sure.
And Seymour Sassafras is already dressed like a Time Lord, so we really shouldn't be surprised that he built a time machine out of a baby carriage. But unlike most time machines, the Yestermorrowmobile comes with its own pilot, and we meet Antoine, a talking caterpillar with an aviator helmet and a French accent. Also provided by Danny Kaye.
Hello, hello, hello.
A worm?
Pardon, monsieur. I hold the rank of caterpillar.
Is there a creepier Rankin Bass character than this person?
You know who's creepier? He does a song later, and there's like generic caterpillar singing.
Yes.
You don't have his facial
Yes.
expressions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those things are under my bed right now.
They crawl on you when you sleep.
Don't let the bed caterpillars bite.
With glowworm goes wrong.
Oh dear, it did look like Glowworm. Yeah, they got Danny Flippin' K to do triple duty in this special, but Antoine gives us a tour of the Yestermorrowmobile, including a console of colorful buttons with initials on them. These are shortcut buttons to quickly rewind or fast forward to major holidays, so I did what I do and paused the video to figure out what's on these buttons. Did anyone else do that?
Oh yeah, got my chart right here.
Okay.
So there's two with a little interesting, but I'll let you go first.
Yeah, we got New Year's, V for Valentine's, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, Mother's Day. No Father's Day. They just skipped Father's Day. The hell with us.
Was that even invented? That I don't, because I know that came later in
Not
history.
that much later. You grew
Yeah.
up with
Yeah.
Father's Day.
That's true. I certainly did.
Yeah.
I think it was invented, but it surely didn't get like it's a whole Hallmark aisle, you know?
Yeah,
It's-
right.
Really? Father's Day was founded in the state of Washington in 1910.
There you go.
Independence Day, because April Valley's in America.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one for Halloween is labeled ST, like Saint.
Because Antoine's from France,
Yeah.
and in France, it's called All Saints Day.
Yeah, they don't really do Halloween, but All Saints Day is a public holiday in France.
So
And then Thanksgiving is labeled SG because I guess his accent, he pronounces it Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Weird joke. And then finally C is for Christmas, and that's good enough for me.
No Arbor Day, even though he did mention it. But
Well, I
It
mean,
is being
yeah, no, he
colorful.
did. He was talking about Arbor Day.
Mhm.
But no shortcut for that. But Peter picks up what Seymour and Antoine are putting down. All he has to do is travel back to Easter morning, deliver the eggs he was supposed to, and make sure Irontail never rules April Valley with an iron tail.
Because cheating's fine if you're the good guy.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, if you got a time machine.
Mhm.
But Peter hops into the Yestermorrowmobile and Antoine sets a course for Easter and it blasts off into the sky to go back in time. Like Superman, I guess. Oh, this is before that, though.
Yeah.
But Seymour sings another song for us, If I Could Only Go Back to Yesterday.
If I could only get back to yesterday, today would be a perfect day. If I could only get back to yesterday, oh, the different things I do and say.
And I really like this song. How about y'all?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it didn't become like a non-holiday standard. It seems like a very something you would hear the classic section or something. Like as a kid, I'm sure this would have been my bathroom break song.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
You appreciate it more in your old age.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, it's Danny Kaye. You're not going to miss.
Sure, right. Yeah, you don't get him to just do a voice. But as the Yestermorrowmobile is flying back through time at 100 hours per hour. Okay.
I like that measurement. That was cool.
Mhm.
It's like the Kessel Run. But meanwhile, Irontail is watching them through his own magic peekaboo egg that's apparently connected to a camera in the sky.
He's creepy. He's got red.
So Irontail sends his pet spider after Peter, just grabs this spider off its web and shoves him into a rocket.
Can I just put one of my favorite lines? I love his exclamations.
What's he say?
He doesn't just send him, it's 1,000 crimson curses.
Yes.
I want to work that into a conversation at the bank, you know? It's, you're overdrawn. 1,000 crimson curses.
Sends him after Peter and Antoine, who apparently don't notice that there's a spider on a rocket chasing them now.
That's also a time machine? Or they're...
I don't know how this works. I'm very confused.
We have questions.
Yeah, because...
Oh, dear, I've gone all cross-eyed.
Like, they're actively going back in time, but Irontail can see them through his peekaboo egg that apparently can also peer through time. It makes more sense later when we find out what's going on, but not here. They're actively traveling back in time, so I don't know.
They open up a portal, the rocket follows. I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
I will say, I know we're going to talk about the sequel later, but also in the sequel hops around seasons, so I think the time continuum in the Rankin-verse is just messed up anyways, so...
The spider crawls underneath the Yestermorrowmobile without Peter and Antoine noticing, rips out some wires, and sends it crashing back down to Earth through the page of a giant floating calendar, which is a weird but neat way to show them re-entering the time stream.
That's like a calendar. And little thing, so apparently we're going to get that calendar for each of the holidays.
Yes.
And the calendars are accurate for the year the movie was made, 1971.
Oh, yeah.
But it changes over at New Year's to the next year, and the days are still for 1971.
They did? Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah.
I noticed that they were accurate now. Like, they when they re-enter the time stream here, it's Mother's Day. But I didn't notice that they didn't get the calendar right when the new year flipped over. But and I was confused at first. I thought they were going into the past. Mother's Day was after Easter. But Seymour told us Peter walked for days and days. So I wonder if his walk of shame out of April Valley was months of just wandering.
Or the spider just reversed the polarity and they went forward instead of backwards.
I mean, that's what they're doing now.
Yeah.
They can only go forward from here. They never go back to before Easter. They can only propel themselves forward now. So they're skipping forward in time, I guess.
Yeah. Which raised a lot of questions for me about the rules on this Constitution.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a bit. But Peter, first, he hops up to a mom and her kids and wishes them happy Easter. And they're like, Easter, it's Mother's Day. You forgot about us on Easter.
Ooh.
This scene is also taken from the book. When the Easter Bunny finally wakes up, he goes out, wishes folks a happy Easter, only to be told the same thing.
Happy Easter.
Easter? It's Mother's Day.
You forgot us on Easter.
I'll say you did. Oh, I don't mind for myself, but there were no eggs for the children.
The mother here is voiced by Joan Gardner, the voice of Tante Kringle. But the last time we heard from her on this show was as one of the nuns in The Story of the First Christmas Snow. And she voices almost every female character in this special.
I recognized her later. I didn't recognize her as the mother, but as at Halloween, I was like, I know who that is.
Yep. But the kids are voiced by Greg and Jeff Thomas. Greg we've heard from before. He was also in The Story of the First Christmas Snow as the kid in that. And he was the voice of the young Kris Kringle in Santa Claus is Coming to Town. This is the only time we will hear from Jeff Thomas, who's Greg's brother, I'm assuming. According to IMDb, Jeff had a few roles as an adult in the 90s. And in 1989, he was in The Tracy Ullman Show as something. But he had a minor role in the movie Kingpin as the guy working the bowling tournament. And he was in the movie Man on the Moon, listed as Andy's stand-in. It's been a while since I watched that, so I don't remember where the stand-in comes in. Was he a Tony Clifton?
Zero over the top of my head.
Yeah, me too.
Who knows? Is he still alive? It's a mystery. But no one wants Easter eggs on Mother's Day, so they get back into the Estermorobile and take off again while Antwan tries to fix it while they're flying. You were on the ground. Fix it there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But while he's trying to fix it, they get blasted out of the sky by fireworks on the 4th of July, and that's where we go to a commercial.
This is an outrageous situation.
We will return to Here Comes Peter Cottontail after these messages.
Easter's coming, bringing a treat. A Cadbury favorite, something you eat. Cadbury's Easter cream eggs.
Nothing else tastes anything like them. Cadbury's milk chocolate makes up the shell, rich cream of vanilla, and the most delicious golden candy yolk any egg ever had.
They're in the stores now, but they won't be long. Just until Easter, then they'll be gone. Cadbury's Easter cream eggs. Ooh.
You can get them wherever you buy candy bars, but just until Easter.
I'm Molly. I'm Julie. And I'm Jen. And we're the hosts of Folks Forever, a Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman rewatch podcast.
Each week, we'll review one episode and talk about at least one LNC related topic.
We're sure to have lots of questions like, does Superman have pockets?
Where does he keep his Clark clothes?
Whatever happened to Lucy?
Does the Daily Planet have a working HR department?
And what the hell was Lex talking about this week?
We'll also talk about our experiences as fans of the show back in the 90s.
What it was like waiting weeks or months for new episodes.
Dialing up to the internet.
Devouring spoilers.
Downloading fanfic.
Starting our own fan clubs.
Collecting merch.
And making friends with fellow folks from across the globe.
Including each other.
So be sure to join us for the action,
the drama,
the romance,
and the laughs
as we revisit every episode of Lois and Clark
on our podcast, Folks Forever.
Available on your favorite podcasting platform, May 17th, 2025.
Let's rewind the years.
We now return to Here Comes Peter Cottontail.
And we return after those messages as Peter Cottontail and Antwan the Caterpillar pilot of the Yestermorobile falling through the time stream again, through the paper calendar into the 4th of July.
On some sort of outrageous situation.
Oh, yes. So now they're even farther away from Easter, and here's where Antwan points out, the rules of the contest never said the eggs must be given at Easter.
Lies. If you could just put a little sound clip of what the Chief Easter Bunny said before the contest here.
I have decided that whoever delivers the most eggs tomorrow, Easter, will be the new ruler of April Valley.
Whoever delivers the most eggs tomorrow, Easter. Because, sure, the Constitution is just, okay, whoever delivers the most egg, but when he's setting them out to go deliver their eggs and setting the contest, he says it right there.
Justice
for Irontail.
Antwan's trying to do the Air Bud loophole. Ain't no rule that says eggs have to be Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
It does just say eggs. But Antwan tells Peter he could deliver 4th of July eggs. That's also from the book. The bunny in that tries to reinvent himself as the 4th of July bunny. And when that doesn't work, he tries other holidays. But in the special, it comes with a song. As Antwan explains, when you can't get it all together, improvise.
People believe what they ask in their eyes. So when you can't get it all together, improvise. When you can't get it all together, improvise.
A glorious anthem to half-assing it.
Didn't do your homework? Does the female caterpillar in this kind of look like Jessica from...
I did have a note! It looks like Caterpillar Jessica! Yes!
High fives all around.
This is where I found myself skipping back and forth between the two versions of the special that I found. The copy on Tubi has the whole song. The upscaled version on the Rankin Bass Archive channel doesn't. It's a shortened version. But yeah, the full version has a chorus full of other caterpillars that's singing with Antwan, including this lady caterpillar with Jessica's haircut and her big blue eyes. Either Rankin or Bass had a thing for redheads, I guess. The song itself, I felt, sounded too familiar to that Back to Yesterday one Seymour's just sang. It's in the same key and it has the same rhythm. It feels like two sides of the same coin. And Danny Kaye sings both of them in different accents.
A little faster, though. You want to do a little step with it.
Not that much faster. You could put them back to back and you wouldn't know it's a different song. But speaking of Seymour, he was apparently smart enough to pack some of his colored paint and a trunk full of rabbit-sized costumes into the Yestermorrowmobile. He must have done the Bill and Ted thing where he knew what was happening and he went back in time to put that into the Yestermorrowmobile. And
he says that like, it's not that I really knew what was going to happen. Not really. It's one of those omniscient characters that has to be really annoying about it. And
trash can. Remember a trash can. I don't know where he put that trunk into the Yestermorrowmobile. There's barely enough room for Peter and Antron.
True.
It's a TARDIS. Peter paints red, white, and blue eggs and puts on an Uncle Sam hat and coat and finds a couple of kids who were bummed that the fireworks are over for the night. So Peter tells them he's got red, white, and blue egg-shaped torpedo firecrackers that you toss on the ground. And I'm thinking, are these kids about to start egging people's houses?
I was really curious to see if we were going to find out that these are raw eggs or hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah, New Jersey listeners, I think Peter Cottontail is about to invent Mischief Night by accident. So these boys take the whole basket of eggs, and Peter rushes back to the Yestermorrowmobile to tell Antoine to hurry up and get him out of there. All right, I did it. Let's go.
Don't ask me questions.
Loophole.
Yeah. But Antoine's still trying to fix the thing, and too late, the kids come back and say, hey, Rabbit, these aren't firecrackers. And Peter tries the old, it was just a prank, bro. Just a joke. They tell him, we don't like jokes, and throw the eggs at Peter. And yeah, that wasn't cool, Peter.
Can't defend that one.
I'm impressed that he manages to catch all of the eggs they throw at him back into the basket without breaking any.
Yeah.
I think it's an Easter Bunny thing. We see this happen a few times more in the special. Is like, all right, you have to be able to catch eggs in improbable circumstances.
Well, when he does it later, he's in the time machine, so he can just be like poofing back and forth, and we're just watching it in real time. But the Yestermorrowmobile blasts off again, and Antoine agrees Peter shouldn't have told those kids the eggs were firecrackers. He says nothing, absolutely nothing, justifies a fib. That's different from bending the rules. We're back on this fibbing angle here, though. Just as Antoine says that, the time machine starts smoking and they crash through the calendar again, this time on Halloween.
Ooh.
With the music from Mad Monster Party.
Is it
they
the
did
same
a
music?
rearrangement. Yeah, it's a waltz for a witch. He just did a little rearrangement of it and put it back in.
If I can't defeat Peter Cottontail on Halloween, then when can I?
I kind of, because this is almost like the only time we really see like a Halloween world in the Rankin-verse.
Right, yeah.
You're not wrong.
I might be teasing hairs here, but Bad Monster Party never even really says the word Halloween, unless I'm wrong.
No, it's not really a Halloween special. It's just about those monsters, which makes it appropriate to watch at that time. But it's not a Halloween special in the same way that we got Christmas specials and St. Patrick's Day specials. Yeah.
So here, where we see her creepy house and all the other ghouls, it's kind of like our only time seeing what happens in the Rankin-verse.
And it was really cool. Like I love like the little jack-o'-lanterns and stuff.
It looks great.
I want a whole special set like in that world.
I know, yeah. I want to see more of this castle too. We get one room in this castle. But this time Peter immediately decides he's going to try the same trick. He'll paint the eggs orange and black and be the Halloween bunny. Meanwhile, Irontail is somehow still watching Peter through the peekaboo surveillance egg that at first I thought could apparently see through time. But I don't think that's what he's doing here. I think he's just actually looking in real time. He already knew about the time machine. He knows it has hotkeys for holidays, so Halloween's rolled around, and I think Irontail's just checking in to see if Peter survived the crash.
Yeah. Instead of actually implementing all these changes, he's just spending a whole year chasing
Yeah,
Peter.
right. No, yeah, I'm the chief Easter bunny. I don't have to do anything. But now it's Halloween, and Irontail isn't worried so much. He reminds himself if he can't defeat Peter Cottontail on Halloween, then when can he?
Wink, wink.
It reminds me, I've got a question about Irontail's ears because they're very bat-shaped. And I don't know, is there any like extra canonical, is there like a novelization or something that describes why Irontail's ears are shaped like bat wings?
I think they're supposed to look like hammered out of iron.
Oh, okay, just so very
Like
angular.
his whole just a very angular, like iron is his whole thing. And I think that's, because I think one of the wikis said that he had like iron like ears, and it does when you look at it through that. It's
Okay.
and it's just a beautiful design.
It looks really cool.
I mean, it is. You're right. Like, is he supposed to be a vampire bunny? Jury's out on that.
He's a goth bunny. It's all you really need.
That's all you need. You're right.
January, boom, boom, Cottontail.
So he calls in a favor from an old friend, a witch named Madame Esmeralda, also voiced by Joan Gardner.
Halter Rabbit. Great, you know me. I just love to tease hares.
And again, I love Esmeralda's castle. She's got this set of chairs, and the design in the back of them look like skulls. She's got a framed portrait of Frankenstein's monster over the fireplace mantle. It is a very detailed set for a very short scene in the special, but I love it.
Like, why wouldn't you reuse that?
I know! So she appears right in front of Peter and Antoine with a classic witch's cackle, and Peter starts laughing right along with her. It's great. It's like, yeah, we're having fun. And he's like, okay, why are we laughing? And Esmeralda's a little disappointed now. It's like, there's no joke. I'm a Halloween witch, and I'm supposed to be scaring you. Watch as I change colors.
I almost thought this was going to be like Sassafras and Drag. Because that's his power.
Yeah,
true.
You're right. Yeah.
Changing colors.
And Peter thinks it's great. He starts to do impressions. Here's my impression of Colonel Wellington, but now Esmeralda's frustrated. You're not supposed to be enjoying this. You're supposed to be scared. So now she thinks she's a failure of a witch and starts sobbing. And Peter tries to cheer her up with a freshly painted Halloween egg, and that works. Esmeralda is so touched that someone's finally thought to treat the tricksters that she flies off to tell the other Halloween monsters, and now Irontail's very annoyed at the idea of Peter winning the contest that's apparently still on.
Great mealy-mouthed meatballs, he says.
Yeah. The rule said the chief Easter Bunny's the one who delivers the most eggs. Tomorrow, you said? Is that the end of that?
Tomorrow. We'll deliver the most tomorrow, comma, Easter.
That's the chief's interpretation of the Constitution, but the letter of the Constitution may have.
Was it when just a whole year long?
Who delivers the most eggs? We've already pointed out.
It does. Yeah, I think it's a loophole.
But it also doesn't say until when they need to be delivered. So it's like a 24/7 wrestling title that's always on the line.
A whole bunch of roll-ups. And
So you get goofy bits of champions getting pinned when they're asleep or going about their day or whatever. The title of Chief Easter Bunny is always on the line, so Irontail calls his pet bat Montresor and sends him after Peter.
Well, at least this led to Cadbury eventually giving us spooky eggs.
Oh, the scream eggs, yeah.
Someone watched this and it's like, Halloween eggs.
I have an idea. So Montresor swoops down and yoink steals Peter's entire basket of Halloween eggs, flies off and starts dropping them out of the sky in an attempt to smash them. But Peter hops back in the Yestermorrowmobile and Antoine flies after him, and this is where we see him catching all of the eggs, but we just see a wide shot of the sky as the time machine just kind of hard cuts, poofs into different spots in the sky to catch each egg. So that's what I think. They're using the time machine to just, now I'm over here, now I'm over here. Oh, I dropped that one. I can go back in time. I caught it. So I'm still on board.
I do feel bad for all the monsters who got disappointed. Did you see them?
Yeah.
The pumpkin-headed guy, something he looked like a leprechaun. He's probably like a goblin. But that polka-dotted monster riding a broom.
I loved that guy.
Oh, he's hanging out with my pet monster somewhere.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
But apparently the Yestermorrow Bill's still working enough that they could zip around and catch all those eggs, but still broken enough that they couldn't go back and deliver those Halloween eggs to all these ghosts and goblins. So Antoine still has to land sometime so he can finish fixing the thing. So the next holiday they can land in is Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
So while Antoine works on the time machine, Peter dresses up like a turkey, like Pugsley and Addams Family Values, so he can give away Thanksgiving eggs.
The disturbing looking turkey. He's very ratty looking.
It's weird. He's not supposed to be the Thanksgiving bunny. He's just a turkey.
Yeah.
Antoine remarks on that like this was like Trix Rabbit level costuming.
Yeah, he just ties up his ears and sticks some feathers haphazardly on his tail. He's got the wattle on his neck. Where'd he get all those feathers, though? Did he chase down a turkey?
He murdered a turkey.
Did he? Or were they in with the costume Seymour? Did Seymour murder a turkey? But Peter attempts to give out Thanksgiving eggs, and by the way, during this whole special, and even the original story, the Easter Bunny isn't depicted hiding eggs. He just delivers them. Just strolls up to people.
Ungrateful people who don't want a free whatever.
Well, he finds this family gathered around a Thanksgiving table outside. They've got their dining room table outside their house on the lawn.
I'm not going to their house for Thanksgiving.
No.
I mean, I've done that here in the desert because it's nice out in November. I don't think in most areas.
It's nice out where I live in November, but that's where the bugs live.
Yep.
It seems like way more of a hassle than it's worth, just dragging this whole big table outside. And when Peter arrives trying to hand out these eggs, the family's already done eating. So they tell him, we're all stuffed. So Peter decides, forget it, and they just fast travel to Christmas.
He's probably just a little bit late. They would make like a lovely centerpiece.
Yeah, they would.
What he really needed to do is just do this painting and just leave him at TJ Maxx.
Done.
They change the color of any decoration and sell it to you for any holiday. And
absolutely they do.
Those little gnomes for every...
Yup. But remember, this is Rankin Bass's first special about a holiday that's not Christmas, and yet here we are, back again on Christmas in the Easter special. I guess I can't blame them. This is part of the original story. The Easter Bunny ends up helping Santa get ready for Christmas, and then Santa gives him an alarm clock so he won't oversleep again.
Yeah. Just more of that, oh, your own holiday got messed up. We'll do Christmas. Christmas is more important. Come on.
Yeah. No time machine in the original story, though. No Iron Tail either. He just waits out the year.
So those eggs must have been so bad by the time he gets around to Christmas.
Yeah, seriously.
These are from last year. That's why we use the plastic ones now.
There we go. But it's Christmas Eve, and that means the Yestermorrowmobile isn't the only flying vehicle in the sky. They run into Santa. And it's Paul Frees on Santa duty again.
Yes.
Hi, Santa. Hi.
Hello, Peter.
Watch out for Iron Tail, Santa.
Oh, I'm not afraid. Merry Christmas, Peter. Merry Christmas.
This is his second appearance as Santa in the Rankin Bass special after Frosty.
And apparently this is the same exact doll model as from Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which came out like, I think...
It was the year before. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got, Rudolph, they didn't think, oh, these are going to go big and we should save these models. But by the time of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, they learned better. So they just fly past each other and say, hey... And seeing Santa gives Peter an idea about how to give away his eggs. And the next thing we see is Peter on a street corner, dressed up as a bell-ringing Santa, offering free Christmas eggs. Eat them or use them to decorate your tree.
Seems like a Victorian thing to do.
Yeah, man, I'd buy it. Yeah,
Sure. Yeah. But the streets are deserted because it's Christmas Eve. Everyone's at home, nestled all snug in their beds. Peter should just go down some chimneys and use the eggs as stocking stuffers. Problem solved.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't do that. He doesn't even think of that. Instead, he's distracted by the sound of someone crying. And he hops over to a nearby hat store to find an old friend in the window, a talking Easter bonnet named Bonnie.
Oh, Peter, I'm so glad to see you, baby. Nobody wants me. What a way for a lady to end up. Unbought on Christmas Eve.
Bonnie Bonnet reminds me of, you ever watch the Disney movie Make Mine Music and they have that song Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet?
Yes.
The Andrews sisters. Bonnie is a pink Easter bonnet with a blue ribbon and yellow daisies and one large daisy in the front where her face is. She's crying because she's still in the hat store window and nobody's bought her and she feels unwanted. So Peter goes inside. The store's still open this late on Christmas Eve and offers to buy Bonnie.
Because she said that she left April Valley years ago. So
yeah.
This seems like a misfit toy kind of thing. Like she was given away and someone like gave her away to Goodwill.
Maybe it's a thrift store.
Maybe. Yeah. She looks like a misfit toy. She has like the same face as that water gun that shoots jelly.
Jelly shooting bonnet.
Right?
Plan for next year.
Yeah, it comes out the flower like a clown. But Peter doesn't have any money, so he offers to trade his basket of Christmas eggs for the bonnet. But he left the basket outside for some reason, and Irontail himself comes and takes it.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman running the store even accepted the offer to trade the bonnet for the Christmas eggs. She's like, oh, they're beautiful.
So I'm starting to feel like maybe the problem is with Peter.
Yes. Not to mention he just steals Bonnie.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the store owner was just like, look, I'm not selling this here.
They made a trade. He didn't have the eggs and he just runs off with her.
Yeah. He just had to leave that basket outside, so Irontail flies away with them on the back of Montresor. So Peter runs back to the time machine without Antoine. He remembers to take Bonnie. Antoine's hiding in Peter's Santa beard because it was nice and warm in there. But Peter takes off without Antoine and tries to figure out how to control the thing without once thinking, hey, where's my pilot? Until it's too late, he doesn't know how to go back.
And that's something I do remember when I did watch this as a little kid. For some reason, being really emotionally devastated by Antoine getting left behind.
Oh.
As creepy as he was, the little tear going down. When you're a kid, that's like devastating. I'm abandoned on Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's rough. Meanwhile, Irontail's so busy looking over his shoulder and laughing at Peter that he crashes into Santa, who takes the basket back and drops it to Peter as he flies below him, puts a little parachute on it like at the end of Rudolph.
Yep.
So now I have this headcanon that Rankin Bass Santa doesn't even bother going down chimneys anymore. He just does the parachute thing. So now Peter's stuck in the time stream because he doesn't know how to land the Yestermorobile. He flies right past New Year's before Bonnie points to a big red button labeled stop. How'd you miss that?
Maybe you shouldn't be in charge of a whole holiday, Peter.
Seriously.
So they land in Valentine's Day next to a frozen pond. There's a string of heart-shaped paper lanterns hanging from the trees surrounding this pond. It is the most decorated place I've ever seen for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. It's so romantic.
And Peter immediately recognizes the setup as a St. Valentine's Day skating party. Okay.
That's a thing.
Sure.
I don't have ice, so sure. I'll believe whatever you tell me.
Yeah, man, it's couple skate time.
It is like what this goes back to the part where it's that nighttime kind of like twilight that we had with the party. This is another one of those really gorgeous, well lighted scenes.
Yeah, it's like a very dark blue sky, and like you can see the candles flickering.
Yeah.
So Peter paints his eggs again. They now have 6 coats of paint on them. That'd be interesting to peel off. puts on some ice skates and heads over to the pond to try and distribute his Valentine's eggs. He runs into a pretty lady bunny who needs help putting on her own skates.
Excuse me.
Huh? Oh, hi.
I hate to bother you, but could you help me put my skates on?
This bunny's name is Donna, and she is voiced by Iris Rayner, another Rankin Bass regular in the 70s. She was another nun in the story of the first Christmas snow, and she was in Rudolph's Shiny New Year and Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey.
She was Happy. We miss seeing Happy when he drove past New Year's.
Yeah, Baby New Year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Donna immediately recognizes Peter Cottontail. He tries to lie, but his ear droops again, and Donna tells him, hey, you made one mistake, you just overslept, and lost control over the entire town. That's kind of a huge mistake.
And his fib is he gives her a fake name, Harold Hassenpfeffer.
Harold Hassenpfeffer, no.
Which is funny because Hassenpfeffer means rabbit stew.
Which I learned from Yosemite Sam.
Yeah, yes.
Hassenpfeffer.
Where's my Hassenpfeffer?
But Peter's so touched by Donna's kindness that he invites her to go skating with him, and we get another song while they skate called Be Mine Today.
My heart's the drummer, come and listen to it playing. It seems to be saying, be mine today.
And because he learned nothing at Christmas time, he leaves the eggs behind him.
He puts his basket down again on the side of the pond to go on a date.
Yep.
I mean, it's a pretty girl. Are any of us throw stones?
Among Us.
Come on.
That's true. That's true. Let me put down my stone.
I'll give him this one.
He does actually finally give away one of the eggs to Donna as a Valentine, but she puts it back in the basket. But sure enough, here comes Irontail, who's just been waiting around for the next holiday to arrive, I guess. Instead of stealing the basket of eggs, he casts a spell on them with the intention of ruining the eggs so no one will ever want them. And he does this by turning the eggs green.
I learned this from Dr. Seuss. No one will want them.
No, who would ever want green food during a holiday between Valentine's Day and Easter? We're getting ahead of ourselves. We may have figured out how this is going to end, but it's still Valentine's Day, and Donna is so heartbroken about the idea of a green Valentine's egg that she bursts into tears and gives it back to Peter.
How fickle.
Yeah, I know.
I gave you an egg. The color changes. It's cool.
Green's not my color. So he moves on to the next holiday, President's Day, which didn't have a button, but it was worth a shot. Tries to give away the green egg, saying George Washington would always have a green egg after chopping down his lime tree.
Yeah.
No one's buying that lie.
And there's a line about maybe tell people that they're limes, which maybe could have worked on Cinco de Mayo. I don't know.
Hey, yeah. Oh, well, that's after Easter.
Yeah.
But now Peter's starting to really get depressed. He's running out of holidays before next Easter. But we're still apparently just short of filling an hour, so Seymour Sassafras interrupts his story to teach us the importance of not giving up hope through a song about the puzzle of life.
In the puzzle of life, there is one piece that keeps it together. It's the hard one to place and the best one to chase. The stormy weather.
The upscaled version on YouTube is from a rerun that cuts this song out completely because I guess they realized the puzzle of life was, what's the point of this song?
Do any of you get it? Like, it shows like all the scenes, but if they had gone better, I don't.
Yeah, we see Peter. It looks like he's daydreaming about having no trouble giving away his normally Easter painted Easter eggs during all those other holidays. And I'm here thinking, I don't think the paint jobs were the problem.
Yeah. No.
The problem's you.
You are. But then the daydream becomes a bit of a nightmare as Peter imagines being surrounded by giant eggs with terrifying rabbit faces laughing at him.
I love those things. Do you know what they looked like? Rise of the Guardians. They had those big stone eggs that would like come out to do battle. It was like very Easter Island.
With the heads from the Easter Bunny in Hell from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
You stole Deacon's Easter basket.
But anyway, that nightmare prompts Peter to solemnly swear to never tell another fib and to always tend to his duty before pleasure. He's still mad at himself for throwing that party.
Mm-hmm.
That apology feels very shoehorned in here before Peter realizes he's coming up on the next holiday.
Glory be in Megora, 'tis St. Patrick's Day.
'Tis the one holiday when you'd want a green egg.
I'm glad he put that together.
Smooth move, Irontail.
I mean, Ronald McDonald has proved that we'll buy any food that's green.
Uncle O'Grimacy. Real talk, I have dyed eggs green for St. Patrick's Day. It's fun. My wife scrambles them and then cuts butter into little clover shapes. It's great.
Okay.
Nice.
I once did a New Year's Eve party where like everyone I knew had some holiday that went really bad that year. So I called it like the Great Holiday Redo.
Oh, nice.
And one of the games I had is everyone had to color eggs, but everyone had to color them for a random different holiday.
Oh, wow.
And it's because I grew up watching this.
Okay.
Yeah, that's super fun.
We one Halloween, we went as different holidays, and I was St. Patrick's Day, and my wife was Valentine's Day, and my one daughter was Christmas, and my other daughter was 4th of July. My son wasn't born yet. So Peter dresses up in a little leprechaun outfit, gives away all his green eggs, which means he's finally given away more eggs than Irontail. And I guess he wins the contest and becomes the new chief Easter Bunny. All he had to do was give away 2.
Took a whole
It took him a year to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the space-time continuum. You hand out your little eggs. Go ahead.
Right. Yep. But then this wraps up kind of quickly. Colonel Wellington names Peter the new chief Easter Bunny, and he hops on his way on Easter as Danny Kaye sings the theme song.
Yeah, Cottontail.
And we see him revisit everyone he met at other holidays. He gives Bonnie the bonnet to the Mother's Day mom. He gives eggs
sweet.
to all the Halloween monsters and Santa.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally catches up to Antoine during the credits, who has transformed into a beautiful butterfly.
How do you like my new Easter outfit, eh? Well, I went to sleep for a few months, and when I wake up, voila, I was butterflied.
He's back to a caterpillar in the sequel.
Is he?
Wow.
Wait, what? How?
Same way Rudolph is a baby reindeer again in the Shiny New Year.
Yeah. As the credits roll, we do see Irontail get some comeuppance. He's in a janitor's uniform with a broom sweeping the grass.
Cleaning up after the Easter parade.
Yeah, right? Oh,
pretty light punishment for...
I gotta get all this dirt out of the dirt.
Those rabbit pellets.
I remember thinking if we weren't going to just see him again. Oh.
Rough landing at the end here, but that's it for Rankin Bass's first non-Christmas holiday special that still leans a little on Christmas and every other major holiday in between.
I love a shared holiday universe.
Yeah.
Throughout all these things, I don't mind Santa coming by. I mind him taking over the whole special like the first Easter rabbit.
Yeah. So as we mentioned, there is a sequel to this from 2005 by Classic Media. That's that company that did The Legend of Frosty the Snowman. If you bought a Rankin Bass DVD at any point in the early 2000s, you might have seen previews for this. So Here Comes Peter Cottontail, the movie, is computer animated. It involves Peter's son, Peter Cottontail Jr., who has to stop Irontail from bringing about an eternal winter.
See who voices Irontail?
Yeah, it's Roger Moore.
He introduces himself, Irontail. January Irontail.
Oh, of course. It's Tom Kenny voicing Peter and his son, and Seymour S. Sassafras, who, remember, built a time machine, is voiced by Christopher Lloyd.
Sweet.
I'm going to have to watch that one eventually, I suppose, but for now, any final thoughts on Here Comes Peter Cottontail?
I quite enjoyed it. It's wacky. It's glom onto the loopholes and the the bending of the rules, and they're very loosey goosey with this Constitution. Both Irontail and Peter, but I really I enjoyed the tour through the holidays. I enjoyed Vincent Price as Irontail. That was like I said earlier, it's a really pleasant surprise. And Casey Kasem was a very pleasant Peter. So
yeah.
I'm glad I finally was able to get this one watched. And I don't know if it's going to be an annual rewatch for me, but it was certainly enjoyable. I would watch it again.
Yeah, I've based my personality on this special. So.
That's why you're here.
I think later on we all learned the love of making other holidays spooky, of the Nightmare Before Christmas, and I got this early on with Vincent.
There you go.
I still say
the curve.
Justice for Irontail. Stop the steal. He won that contest. We could have been having chocolate tarantulas right now.
We should do it on Easter. Someone's got to like those. My kids would eat them.
Everyone listening, I want you to do that this year and tag me, okay?
Yeah.
Let's start the tradition.
Somebody. Well, despite the evil goth bunny and the time travel shenanigans, I still wouldn't call this my favorite of the Easter specials. That title's going to go to the first Easter Rabbit, but that's a lot of nostalgia attached to that, I admit. But there are some really great moments here. I wish some of these characters found their way into Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July.
Yeah.
They would have fit. It would have worked.
I do love Sunny. I have nothing against Sunny.
But thank you both for hopping on to talk about this one with me.
Thank you, man. It was really fun.
Thank you for extending my Easter another few weeks.
Absolutely. Well, if people want to give you the gift of patriotic eggs posing as firecrackers, where can they find you on the internet? Sammy.
You can find either on our new home, Blue Sky, it's Sammy Hain, and also on Facebook, I have Sammy's Easter Tales, TAILS, where I cover all the new and old of Easter, including a retrospect of all the times Santa and Easter Bunny have met. So drop by.
And Michael.
I'm on Blue Sky, just at Michael May, my name. Or I'm also on the After Lunch podcast if you want to take a listen to that.
Yeah, please check out all of those things. You can find those links in the show notes or look for this episode on adventcalendar.house. Tune in next time when I've got a shell of an episode in store for y'all. Until then, for Michael May and Sammy Hain from somewhere outside the monthly calendar-shaped space-time continuum, this is Mike Westfall reminding you to mind the icy patch and try not to sleep in. Maybe set multiple alarms like a normal hyperfixated adult. Good night, y'all.
Hippity hoppity happy Easter day. Happy Easter
day. Next time on the Advent Calendar House.